Thanks to the support as a channel member and Chipman. Boys and girls, we knew this day was coming at some point. The Duo football shirts, there's an example of a red one, are going to be going off sale at the end of the month. So if you want one, now is the time to get one. I'm not saying they'll never go back up again. I may or may not be in negotiations with potentially a different merch supplier. But if you want one of these original run of the Duo football shirts with no guarantees when, I won't say if, they probably will be back, but no guarantees when they'll be back, order one from the link that's down in the description below. They are awesome. They're available in loads of different colours. You've got the big logo, the small logo, the t-shirts, the mugs, the hoodies. It is a cool range, and it's going to be available until the end of September down in the description below. Hello, welcome to part 96 of the Tour de France. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have both legs of our Champions League semi-final against Borussia Dortmund, and because of some drop points, we're probably not going to win the league today, so we don't need to worry about that Bordeaux game. We can worry about wrapping up Ligue 1 tomorrow. Today is all about getting past Dortmund. We did drop points against Rennes, so the Ligue 1 table with 3 games left to go is starting to look really rather worrying, because Paris Saint Germain now back to within 3 points of us, only 3 goals behind on the goal difference as well. We still haven't lost, but similar to last season's story, we are just drawing too many games. The Rennes game, another example of that, and it is worrying. Luckily, we don't have to play PSG. Our run-in sees us face Bordeaux, who are down in 17th place, while PSG face Nice, who are also down in the relegation zone, so we should both win there. We're then away against Saint Etienne, who are trying to get into Europe, while PSG are away against Troyes, who are just boring old mid-table. And then on the last day, we're at home against Lyon, who are trying to cling on to a European spot, while PSG face Brest, another boring mid-table team. So their running is slightly easier than ours. You would expect them to win all 3 matches. We need to win, well, based on the goal difference, we probably need to win all 3 of ours as well. So let's try not to panic too much, but let's not try to think about it too much either, because like I say, today is all about Borussia Dortmund. They're currently 4th in Bundesliga. They're potentially not even going to qualify for next season's Champions League, although they have won the Bundesliga 3 years in a row in the last 6 years. So they're not rubbish, but at the same time, I'd like to think we're a better team than they are. But they did put 6 goals past Liverpool in the last round. So who knows? This is the team we're sending out there for the first leg, the home leg. We are starting to get all of our injured players back. Fowry is back in the team, but not fully fit. And Guema still not match fit, but he's obviously back in the team. Afkir Omar back on the bench, but still not fully fit. And we don't actually have anyone with a current active injury. We've just got those 3 key players working their way back to match fitness, which it's not the ideal time to be doing that, but we need those boys back if we're going to win this Champions League, which we'd quite like to do. Although I still maintain the priority is winning Ligue 1, even though we'd very much like to win both. So the team for the first leg, the home leg against Dortmund, we've got Magothu in goal, a back four of Simon, Say, Capital and Antoine, Milinkovic at the base of the midfield, Fowry and Del Palacio Langer ahead of him, and then Benavides on the left and Guema on the right, Cruz up front, who of course in the last round did learn to score goals in Europe, which is a useful thing, but then was rubbish against Rennes in that last game, and we had to bring a not close to fully fit Afkir Omar on to save the point in that game. So at least Omar has come back from his injury and immediately got back in the goals. Cruz blows very hot and cold. We need him to blow quite hot today, and Dortmund are playing a formation we really don't have to face very often with this kind of 3-4-3 system that they're using. Fingers crossed we can cope with it, but obviously Liverpool didn't cope with it too well in the semi-final. Liverpool actually won 3-1 in the first leg, then lost 6-0 in that second leg. So clearly Dortmund, similar to Cruz, capable of being excellent and a little bit rubbish. So we have to hope they're a little bit rubbish today, because we really want to set up that dream series finale of winning Ligue 1 and then beating Paris Saint Germain in the Champions League final to win that as well. That'd be fantastic. Obviously, if we do fail today, you've got at least one more year of the series. We're not in a massive rush at the moment. FM23 is still a month or so away, so we don't have to finish now. We don't have that pressure, but I'd really like to win this match. I'd like to win this match at least, and then win Ligue and then win the Champions League. I want to win everything. 0-0 at half-time. Chelsea 2-0 up against PSG in the other semi-final. He's trying to rob me of my dream final, which is a little bit upsetting. But I guess we should probably focus on our own game rather than theirs. Antoine has got on the overlap here. We've got options in the middle. If he can drill it across, he does. Del Palacio Langer got there at roughly the same time as the goalkeeper, and unfortunately the goalkeeper comes out on top. But that was our first good chance of the game towards the start of this second half. Del Palacio Langer now slotting Cruz through, who beats his man for pace, but then absolutely skies it. He's hit, that's landed in the second tier. That is not the finishing that we would hope for from our £10 million striker. Cross comes in for Nguema from the free kick, but he can't keep his header down either. We're doing the behind the goal fans really are in danger at the moment with the amount of balls going high and wide against that goal. Right, we need to take off Fowry because he's not fit to play a full match. Del Palacio Langer, though, is tired, as is Nguema, as is Benavides. We can't take them all off. We're going to protect Fowry first of all and get him off. We are then going to take off Nguema and bring on Afkir Omar. Cruzer's going to go out to the right-hand side. And then we're probably going to leave it there for the final 10 minutes. They're not the two players who are most tired, but we're just trying to ease all three of these players back into fitness again. And now with 10 minutes to go, it's time for Mr. European Football, Christopher Robin, to come on for Del Palacio Langer. It does mean Manctolo doesn't get to make an appearance today, which is a little bit harsh on him. But we're trying to win a Champions League here, folks. This match hasn't gone to plan. We know how dangerous Dortmund can be at their place, and we have not capitalised on our home leg at all. And that is poor from Antoine and has let them in, and Magothu keeps us in it at 0-0. But it is a corner for Dortmund, and this first leg is really not turning out the way I hoped it would. I think we're getting the end of season jitters as it's becoming clear to the players now that we actually do have a chance to win everything, and now we're afraid of doing it. Magothu with another fantastic save there to push it behind for another corner. Dortmund again from the right-hand side. Magothu has been our best player today, and that has been the story a few times in this Champions League run. He is the unsung hero of this team with some of his goalkeeping exploits. Simon to Christopher Robin. A goal here would be super duper. Benavides couldn't get there above his man, and now Milinkovic is going to try and get it back into the area. Antoine trying to get into that crossing position again. Milinkovic floats over looking for Benavides again, but can't find him. And it's once again cleared by this Dortmund defence that have found coping with us relatively easy today. Christopher Robin plays it out to Simon on the left-hand side. He's got a little bit of space to find a cross, gives it back to Robin. And now Benavides, Christopher Robin again. Somebody just hit the ball towards the goal. Costa, Benavides, Antoine! Oh, that felt like it was going to be a goal, but it just sails wide into that splash zone in the stand behind the goal. And if Dortmund score here, I'm going to be very cross. There you go. We're aiming for some more fans in the nice little row of executive boxes with a wall. I've never seen that on a real ground. A little wall in front of the executive boxes. I've never noticed it here before either, but it's the same all the way around. Who has executive boxes in the away end? That seems like some stadium design inconsistency there. Get queuing up for the burger van. There's nobody there. Beat the queues for a post-match burger. Corner from Dortmund. Capitao is there to head clear, and we managed to hold on for the 0-0. But based on what we saw from Dortmund in their quarter-final, I'm not sure 0-0 is going to be enough going back to Germany. Chelsea with the 3-0 win over Paris Saint Germain have already got 1 foot in the final, and that romantic dream scenario, dream finale to the entire series has already gone down the toilet, and it's only the first half of the episode. Well, nice comfortable 5-0 win against Bordeaux, as you can imagine. Paris Saint Germain also picking up a nice comfortable win of their own with a 4-1 win over Nice. It does mean the goal difference gap has increased ever so slightly. So with 2 games to go, we've got 3 points and 5 goals over them. But I'm still very afraid. Not as afraid as I am going into this second leg against Dortmund, though. We are unchanged from the team in the first leg. Afkir Omar still not fully fit to play a full match. So we're going to leave him down on the bench, despite the fact in his last 2 league games, he has come off the bench and grabbed goals. So he, although not fully fit, at least seems to be in form. So if we do find ourselves needing a goal later on in this game, Omar should be the man to come on and be able to grab that for us, and he should be fit for the domestic run-in and a potential final. After this, Fowry and Nguema seem to be pretty much back to their normal, fully fit selves. So We're starting to see, I mean, you can see it here, these movements from Nguema again, where he's just controlling the game, dropping deep, dropping inside, and really starting to pull the strings again for us, which he wasn't doing the first 3 or 4 matches that he was back in the team. He was struggling, but certainly less so now. So it's good to see Nguema back to his best. It does mean we've amended our play style again a little bit to accommodate him doing that, rather than playing an out-and-out winger out there like we have for a lot of this season. But it doesn't seem to have caused us too many problems, as you saw with the 5-0 win that we've just had in the league. But of course, there'll be reasons to criticise if, having used a winger to get all this way in the Champions League, we now switch to accommodate our homegrown boy and get knocked out in the semi-final by a team you'd like to think we should be capable of beating. We've got the ball here, knocking it around nice and comfortable at the back, the way we do. Del Palacio Langer back to say. It's back with Langer again. And we're just knocking the ball around, keeping possession, waiting for an opening, hoping that we're not going to give the ball away. And that's why we're seeing the highlight. And there's the through ball from Nguema. And it's Cruz. And it's 1-0. 5 minutes on the clock, 6 minutes on the clock, whatever it is. And that is exactly what we were talking about with Nguema. That's why he's so important. And that's why we have to change the way we play to suit him. No way would a winger be taking up the position Nguema takes up there. He's kind of just to the right of the centre-back, deeper than where our right-back was, narrower than where a right midfielder would be, just in that little pocket where he can knock the ball over the top. Cruz is lightning quick. And it's the kind of goal we've got so used to doing. And Nguema's there again, just spraying the ball around from deep, puts it out to Benavides, who slots it into Del Palacio Langer in less than 8 minutes, and it's 2-0. And Nguema is having a very, very good game. Like I said, pulling all the strings. It is an absolute delight to have him back and fit again. No, other teams just don't pick him up. He gets so much time and space to just take his time, pick his pass, and his long-range passing is a joy to behold. And we've got to behold it twice so far in this game. And we are 2-0 up, and now we're not assuming we're through to the final, but we are kind of having a little tentative look at Paris Saint Germain just as Moukoko grabs a double for Chelsea. Chelsea now 5-0 up on aggregate. So I think the chances of us playing Paris Saint Germain in the final are close to 0 currently. And Nguema slots it into Del Palacio Langer, who's charging forward, has the shot from range, probably should have looked to slide in one of the players ahead of him. Benavides and Cruz were either side of him, looking to just be put in behind the defenders. And I think Langer would like a little bit more glory. Having already grabbed the second goal, he wants to remind everybody that he's the star man, not this Nguema guy who just happens to be the captain and the chief string puller. But we've got to be aware that Dortmund have goals in them, and there is a big chance for them that luckily has gone wide of the post, because Mogothu did not seem to be moving for that in any way. So that could have been a little danger moment. Simon playing it back to Say, and now Milinkovic. Just taking our time, waiting for our spot. Again, Antoine's got a huge amount of space over on this right-hand side. If we can play it across to him, and we do, unfortunately, he's a little bit behind him, so he's not been able to get in behind the defenders and find the cross. But now both Simon and Antoine have got this huge space if we just want to use these wide areas again. And Nguema plays it back to Milinkovic. Now Nguema again. Fowry does see Antoine, who this time does get in behind, and the cross causes chaos. Dortmund are just playing too narrow. We're just getting around the sides of him, and Nguema's got nobody anywhere near him the whole time. He's just going where he wants and playing passes, and the fullbacks are causing all manner of problems. And there's two of them combining again. I think this time it probably is offside, but it was Nguema coming inside, finding this space for Antoine, who's out wide, finds the cross. Langer's there to tuck it away, and it does count, and it is 3-0 in the first half of this second leg. Where were these goals in the first leg? I would have slept a lot more comfortably between these two matches if we'd have done this at our own place. But we are looking good at the moment. 3-0 up, not even half time. I find myself wanting to cheer Paris Saint Germain on, because I do want the storybook final. I want to topple them in the league. I mean, it'll be the first time in 15, 20 years that PSG have not won Ligue 1. I would very much like to do that the week before we beat them in the Champions League final. But you know what? If we win Ligue 1 and the Champions League this year, I'll take it, even if we have to beat Chelsea to do it. I suspect we're probably less likely to beat Chelsea than we would have been to beat Paris Saint Germain, just based on the fact that Chelsea have so comfortably dealt with PSG across 2 legs. Something, I mean, we don't comfortably deal with them very often. So I suspect Chelsea might be quite a strong side. We've come up against them before, and they really are FM22 Wonder Kid Central. If you think that Paris Saint Germain team is overpowered, the Chelsea one is terrifying. It is just an FM22 Wonder Kid list, and it's very unpleasant to play against. I think we experienced that last season. We had to play Chelsea, I think. Well, they were in our group, weren't they? Were they in our group? I feel like they were in our group. It's so long ago now. We're going back a week. I can't remember stuff that happened a week ago. I feel like Chelsea maybe topped our group, and Inter were in there as well. Yeah, it's all coming back to me. That's when we played Chelsea, and we lost to them. We lost bad. They're a good team. Right, Del Palacio Langer plays it into Benavides. We could probably bring Omar on now for some minutes. It seems like a mad thing to say in a Champions League semi-final. But with 20 minutes to go, Dortmund have just not been in it. And I think if we are going to beat Chelsea, it would be really handy to do it, to have Afkir Omar at our disposal to help us do it. And Guema can go off for a rest. Antoine is struggling and on a yellow card, so it's an easy decision for him to come off. I think everyone else can just stay as they are for now. Only 3 subs in the Champions League. Always troubles me. Del Palacio, Langer or Fowry will probably be the other one who comes off. Fowry probably is the sensible one because he's the one still on his way back from an injury. Laurent playing it forward to Cruz. Back out on the wing now. Omar, little bit slow to react to that. That's what I say about him not quite being back to full fitness yet. Omar's strength has always been his pace, and he was a little bit slow reacting there. Simon to Langer, and there is Omar dropping a little bit deeper, playing it back to Benavides, and Del Palacio Langer bursting out of midfield, plays it into the path of Cruz, who's won a penalty there, I think. It's a very clumsy tackle from the Dortmund defender. Cruz was just, his pace is, it's very explosive, and he just burst his way past the man, and they had the decision to either let him go and score a goal or bring him down. They've decided to bring him down, and Del Palacio Langer, I think, has a hat-trick. That is a hat-trick. Well, he said he wanted to show that he was the star man and not Nguema, and I think a hat-trick in a Champions League semi-final probably justifies that stupendous amount of money that we spent on him. We are still going to take off Fowry all the same and bring on Christopher Robin because we don't want to break Fowry, although it would normally be Del Palacio Langer that comes off in these circumstances, and he deserves a standing ovation. Let's just bring him off with a few minutes to go and play with 10 men just so that he can get that standing ovation. But let's not forget the fact, boys and girls, let's not gloss over the fact that Tor FC are in a Champions League final. We've never even won Ligue 1. Oh God, we've qualified for the Club World Championship. I do not have fun with the Club World Championship. We had a horrible time at it on Twitch with Leamington. We were awful at it with Apollon a few years back as well. And we're just going to talk about being knocked out of the Coup de France. That's ridiculous. When is the Club World Championship? Not for a couple of years. We don't have to worry about that. Fingers crossed. Even if we don't win the Champions League and Ligue 1 this year, we'll have won it by then and we never have to play in that monstrosity of a tournament. Beautiful stuff. But boys and girls, there is your confirmation of a Champions League final against Chelsea in Ukraine. Say is tired. We really can't be resting people now because we're going to be coming back tomorrow for these final 2 league games. We're not going straight onto the Champions League final. Priority 1 has always been win Ligue 1. So we're going to try and do that tomorrow, and then all eyes shift over to the Champions League final. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much for watching.